happy Easter. Today I'm going to show you how to create this cool bunny. I named her Cottontail. With Scratch, just using, you're not using any ink, you're not going to draw anything with your hands. It's all with code, right? So for all of you Scratchers, those who love to use Scratch to draw or to play, or if you just want to try something new, then this is a great video for you. So what we have here is a bunny. Let's get him going. And actually I have my rabbit sprite drawing the bunny Cottontail. As you can see, we are using ovals for ears, and then we are going to use the nose is a triangle as well as some lines. We are using, well, it's once again, it was some ovals as well for the feet, lines for the toesies, and we've got for the head, we've got circles, well, a circle for the eyes, more circles, and then you can see for the body, those are just semicircles. So it is the circle code, but a fraction of it. For the bottom of the body, we did use lines again. And then lashes are lines. The muzzle is a circle. Freckles, you would see, yeah, they're circles, but they're like this built-in turn thing, and you just adjust the size of the pen. And then once again, what makes Cottontail Cottontail, her little cottontail there, is semicircles, 3 semicircles that we joined up. Now I'm calling it semicircles because I think semi is supposed to be half, but I'm just using the term semicircle to mean any part of a circle. Okay, so let's go. Let's start with the simplest part first, right? So here we go. This is the code. Let's start here. So when you click the green flag, these things happen. It shows up the little rabbit sprite. Then the pen up, erase all. So you see my screen went blank. Pen up, what are you talking about? So in case you aren't familiar, you could draw stuff with the pen extension. So you come down here, this little blue plus sign, and the second option is the pen extension, and it pulls up all these guys over here. So that's what we're using. Once the pen is activated, you could change the color, you could change the pen size, you can change all different things about the color, meaning like or attributes. So the saturation, the brightness, the transparency, really cool. And we're going to use a little bit of those features today. So I shot my sprite. The pen is up. That means it's not going to draw anything. And then I just clear the screen. And then, whoa, what are all these things? Ears, nose, feet, toes, head, right? Tail, hide. So then I just hide the sprite at the end so you don't see the rabbit, the little small rabbit, blocking the view of Cottontail, right? You get those, you can see they're purple in the looks section. You can get hide, show at the bottom of the looks section, right? These guys are my blocks. My blocks are such a cool feature. So they are functions. And so basically if you figured out how to do something that you might want to repeat over and over, then you just use that my block feature to kind of cement that code, and you call that a script, and that way you never have to code it again, and you can use it over and over. My block, such a powerful tool. It's a function, right? So the first thing we're going to do, let's create a my block for a line, which is the simplest thing, right? You can see we've got lines here in the toes, and you can see we've got lines for the lashes, right, on top of my anime eyes. I did that because my daughter loves anime. I'm sure you do too. And then there's the lines here at the gap between, underneath the nose, as well as the mouth. So we've got straight lines. Lines are super simple, right? You just gotta move, right? But how much are we gonna move? And so so everybody's gonna use this, right? And what this does is it's not just the line, it's drawing the line. So I got the pen function, pen down, you move it a certain amount of steps, and then pen up again. Very simple. And well, the move block, you should be familiar with that one. If this is your first time, motion blocks are the blue ones. Now, size. So, as I said, I used line, that function line, in several places. So a function, my block, same thing. I used it to build the toes. I used it to build the lashes, right? And well, it's not shown here, but I used it to build the nose as well, and something else as well. The bottom here, you can see those are lines. So bam, 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 lines, great. So for the simplest ones that use the line, those are the toes and the lashes. And for each one of them, I had to decide, how long is that line going to be? So that's why I didn't want to just keep the default 10 steps in there, because each time the line might be a different length. So I created a variable. So you come to variables here, make a variable, and when you click on that, you just type in the name, and the name of it in this case was size. You press OK. I'm not, because I already did it. And I have my variable there called size. And we're going to use that for a lot of things, you'll see. So for toes, my size is 20. So this is what 20 steps look like. For the lashes, it's 15, right? So they were a little shorter at 15. Now, you're seeing some other variables there. Great. So what are those about? Okay, so let's go. Now, what I did, if you look at toes, I could have set, the pen color and the pen size. You could put them in there, but the problem is sometimes you might say, oh, wait a minute. Yes, I have the line as black here, but sometimes I might want to change the color. It's pink here. Well, actually, I think I chose red. So it's red here for the mouth. So anything that you're going to change, then I took it out. I didn't put it in line, right? Line just has the basic, how do you draw a line, right? A standard line. You could probably put some of these things in there if you want, but then if you're going to change it later, you have to be sure. So for example, like direction, to make a variable for it, just like here that we did, right? Unless you know for sure, okay, all my line sizes are going to be 2, so it doesn't matter. Or if they're going to change, pen sizes, going to be 2 for my lines, then you need to put in a variable there to, adjust it. So it's up to you. You're seeing here, I've got, okay, we're going to point it in a direction. For toes, it's pretty simple. My toes, it's just these bam, 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 straight down lines. So that's 180. It actually tells you which direction you need. It helps you out, okay, which angle is what. So 180 degrees, right? A circle has 360 degrees. That's going to come in handy later. So from 0 to 360. So 180, you're facing downward. And then where am I starting my line? For my toes, I'm starting here. So let's get Rabbit. Rabbit, can you show up? Thank you. And if you drag Rabbit across here, you can see that's around, somewhere around minus 52, x, and y is minus 145. So yeah, look, it started at minus 50x, minus 145y. What is she talking about? What is x and y? So if you don't know what x and y are, those are the coordinates. That's what we use to help us know where we are on this grid, right? So it helps us to say, okay, I want to start my nose at x11, y minus 8. X is sideways, left to right, and y is up, down, right? So here, so 0, 0 is, let's see if we can find it. So this is, where am I? X is 17. If I go this way, minus 33, so I just need to come across a little bit. Okay, I kind of crossed it. Okay, I'm minus 3, so I'm about 0, maybe. Can we come back to the right? Oh, minus 1. I just need to shimmy a little bit. Oh, shimmy, shimmy. Okay, so it's somewhere around there. And then I'm at minus 6, so I need to go up for the y. I'm at minus 1, minus 1. That's pretty close. Okay, I'm at 0 for y. I just need to go a little bit. Oh, did I cross it? I crossed it. I'm really trying. I'm really trying, guys. Okay, so I'm around x0, almost x0 and y0. So that's the center is somewhere around there, right? Somewhere around there is the center, right? A 0, 0. So if I go anything to the right, it's going to be more of x. I go again to the right, it's going to be even more of x. When I come here now, whoa, it's 123. And if I come here, that's like negative 233. So maybe, yeah, sorry, I said 133 just now. Maybe it's 2 because it tends to be even. What? He didn't come with me. All right, let me let him go. Yeah, 200, 210, 223. Sorry, my eyes. I don't have on my glasses. Sorry about that. I think what we saw there was 223 before. So let's do that again. Let's come here. And when we go up, it's going to be a positive number. 131. Y is now 168. And let's go the other direction. It's going to be like negative 50, negative 104, negative 142, negative 175. So that's the XY. I hope that makes sense to you. So we use those coordinates to help us navigate around and kind of position things where we want. So I said, okay, I want to start my toesies here at minus 50, minus 145. And then, oh my gosh, what are all these repeats? Well, this is something called nested loops, okay? And all it is that I'm doing the same thing over and over, right? Quick calculation. What's 2 times 3? 6. And I've got 6 toesies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah? So all it is saying is, hey, go to the spot I told you, minus 50, minus 145. I'm using variables again because I was testing it out. I want to change it. For the toes, X is going to be something and Y is going to be a certain thing. And for the lashes, X and Y are going to be a totally different thing. But I use X and Y to kind of help me to change the settings to whatever I want it to be, right? When I'm playing around with it. And so, an X and Y, like here, it's going to be different for the left foot and going to be different for the right foot. So that's what this repeat 2 times is about. I'm going to do it once over here on this side. Then I'm going to add 60, X, add 60 to X, change X by 60. That's going to jump me across here. And let's go through it. So we did minus 50 and Y is minus 45. And then I got a little tip from Facebook. Thanks. We do the line, we change X by 10. So let's go. So, we move, so it does this line, then the next line, then the next line. So clearly we're moving by 10. And then by the time we reach this one, we're around minus 30 or so. So then when we add 60 to that, we should end up in the 30s again, but like a positive 30, right? So that's why, so we're adding 60 here, right? And then, so we've repeated that 3 times, added 10 3 times, and then now we're adding 60 and repeating the whole thing and doing bam, bam, bam. So you got your next set of 3 toes, right? Clearly I didn't check to see how many toes rabbits have, but that's what we did. So we defined our toes, and how did we get toes to work? Remember this big long code here. So, it's just toes. So let's see. Let's get our toes, as we said. We don't have to hide the rabbit after. So let's go. And that's our toes. Boom. Right? What else? So, that was line, right? So let's see what else we've got in here. Triangle. What goes into that? We needed it for the nose, by the way. And so just like we had before, where it was just one line, this time it's 3 lines. So we're going to use the repeat again. I don't think I showed you where you got the repeat from. Repeat is in control, right? If you use other things like Minecraft education, any make coding, you would get it in loops, right? A lot of things are in loops. So this is this repeat, and we're going to do it 3 times. Once again, we're setting the size, and what's different here is that we're setting the angle. Now, I did for the nose an isosceles triangle. Let's check it out. Let's just do nose. Let's get rid of all these guys, and we can hide you after. Now the nose is pretty small, right? But that's the nose there. And so for the size of the nose, let's just, well, the first thing we should check out is the angle, right? Let me make it bigger. So let me just make, set size. Yeah. So let's just do the triangle bit. Go to bloop, bloop, bloop. Yeah. Let's move this. We don't need this part. We're just doing the triangle for now. So this is the, by the way, I'll leave the code, the entire code in a link below. So back to the nose. Let's change the size. Let's make it a huge triangle. So let's just, make it like 3 times the size. Yeah, so 30. Let's make it bigger. And this is let's get even bigger than that, 60. This is a equilateral triangle. So all the sides are equal. And what does that mean? These angles should be 60 degrees. So my angle here should be, what? Should be 60 degrees. Why isn't it 60 degrees? That's because we're using the external triangle. Because the rabbit that we saw before, this guy, for him to turn, right, to come and do this and come back to the other side, he's using the external triangle. So he's using the external angle. So in other words, so this whole thing, so we have to basically take 180, take away 60. We have to take 180, take away 60. That's what the external angle for a triangle is. He has to turn, so let's say he has this line here. Let's say he's going along this straight line. Yeah, right, so he's going along the straight line. Well, he went the other direction. So which direction? Let's see it again, so that way I show you according. Oh, so fast. So he was going this way. He started here. He went this way, right? And this line is a straight line going here. He still has to turn, right? All this way here, right? The external angle, right? And come back on this side. Hope that makes sense. He's not turning like from here to here. He's turning like, so this 180. 180 is, the angle of the straight line. Right, so he's turning over there to get to here. And then when he's here now, he's got to turn over here, boop, to get to here. So he's actually doing the external angle. So just be careful of that when you're making shapes, you want to draw something. Sometimes you have to rely on the external angle, not the internal angle, right? So that's how you make a triangle. Back to what it was. What did we have it at? I think it was 10. Yeah. So let's get back down to 10. The pen size then, I have size divided by 2. So let's just make that 5 as opposed to like, because that's not necessary for that. Yeah, so let's check it out again. Right, so that's the nose. As you can see, we added in lines this time to make the mouth. We've been to very similar. What's different here? Anything different? No, we've got direction. We spoke about direction with the line. We spoke about size, the pen size. Yeah, and so with this one, you had to come down, go across, jump back to this spot, and go across there. So you had to know like what you did. You had to know, okay, I came down by a certain amount, which was size. Yeah, so that when I wanted to come back to this point, it's really whatever this point was, which I've been to before, plus, well, minus size, right? Minus the 10, right? Which could change anytime I want to. I can always change it. So you always want to make sure that even if you change it, it comes back to this point, which is why variables are super useful, right? I'm going to undo that. Can I? Size to 2. Was it 2? 10. Okay, 10. Yeah, 10. Okay. Okay, I hope that's correct. Yeah, that looks good. So that's my nose. Now, it's a lot of work to make this bunny. It is, right? Now we're going to do another thing, which is the turn, right? So before we go to circles, we're going to show you how to get the freckles done. So it's really cool to understand that turn is like is another built-in function within yeah, we want freckles. It's another built-in function. Yeah, we could show the muzzle. Why not? In Scratch. So what I did was it's just really, to make the freckles, all you need to do is put your pen down, turn a little bit, put back your pen up. So that's the basic draw turn. And if I wanted to use it for anything else, I always could, right? So you're going to see the freckles just bam appear there. And it happens really quickly, right? It happens really quickly, so that's why it kind of disappears. If you want to see things happen, what you can do is add in a wait. 1 second is long in coding time. So let's just make it like a half a second. You might see a little something here, but because it's not drawing circles and it's just a 15-degree turn, you're not really going to see much. And if you wanted to have the turn go longer, you can always increase that, things like that, right? So let's go one more time. We're just waiting for the muzzle to come up. Right, so you just kind of see him hop through everything. Well, with the left freckles, not the right. Okay, so let me undo, because I don't really, oh, it's so slow with the undo. I'm going to get rid of these. We don't really need them. Bye-bye. Right. So with these, I wanted to put in the freckles at certain places. So a certain place, you specify X, Y. You point it in a certain direction. So this first freckle, point at 90 degrees. And then I drew the turn, right? That 90 degrees, this one wasn't really super important, to be honest. What was more important was that one super important? Let me just think about it. It turned the 15 degrees, ends up where it did. No, that first one, I think it really didn't matter. What mattered was this one, because I had to move next. So what this dictates, so actually I can show you that it doesn't matter. So let's just say goodbye. Right, let's do this again. Yeah, bye. I don't need you. The direction really matters. Point in direction 45 matters for where I'm going to go to next. So after I made this first freckle, I want you to end up here. So turn 90 degrees and go over there, right? Sorry, turn 45 degrees, point in direction, not turn 45, point in direction 45. And that's exactly why it doesn't matter where the first one was, because we're not turning. You're pointing in a specific direction, which says, hey, point that way and then move that way. So you can see from the first freckle, it actually goes that angle across. And then from the second freckle, it goes another angle across, which is 165. Yeah? So, now that I see that, I realize, oh, we could make this code so much more efficient by adding a repeat block. I love to do that, by the way. So let's just see how it goes. Yeah, so that didn't make one iota of a difference. I got rid of code that was just super useless, right? Pointing in the first direction didn't really matter. It was there because I used a circle first to draw this, and then I realized, I can just use the built-in function called a turn. I keep stressing that so that you can see why I call it a built-in function. Basically, it makes a circle for you. It makes a rotation for you, and it's built in, and we're going to use it later to build on it. Hope that helps. Yeah. Okay, so that is how you create the freckles. Now you're seeing here that you probably could improve this with a repeat loop. Yeah, you could. The only thing is, like, 45 and 165 don't have a super good relationship, so you might have to add in, you might have to use two variables, one that changes with the repeat. So it's a bit much. So you can leave this like this for now, but it's always good to think about, if you're going to use something 3 times, then a more efficient way to do it, generally speaking, is using a loop. Yeah. So that can be improved, and you can see if you can try it on your own. It would take some doing. Yeah, so I was speaking to you about this turn. We're moving on to circles now. So circle is what got us the muzzle, is what got us the head, right? So let's look at this. It looks pretty similar to the draw turn, and particularly similar to the triangle, right? This move size steps really got us the size of your triangle. Similarly, in the circle, this move size steps will get us the how big our circle is. Now, we still have to turn. Remember, just now it was the external angle for the triangle. In this case, we are turning, but how many times? So the how many times really depends on how, like, this angle. Yeah, so the angle times the amount of times we do this whole iteration that times that turn, the amount of times you're turning times the angle is equal to 360. The amount of times that you know what, it's best to just show you. So let's take muzzle. Yeah, we already got muzzle. Bye Freckles, we don't need you right now. And so let's take muzzle. Let's see how muzzle looks. There we go, that's our muzzle. All right, let's hide him at the end so that we can see everything clearly. I can see clearly now. Okay, so good. So muzzle is right over here. It should be next to the head, right? So that's muzzle. So what did we want to do? So it goes to a certain place. We've been there before. It checks the pen color. It points in a direction. Set angle, right? So let's see. Set angle to 5 and set angle to 2.5. Did I repeat myself? Set angle to 5, set size to 2.5. So we're at 2.5. The pen size is 1. Let's set this to 5, right? And let's see where it goes. You know what? Let's not erase anything. And that way we can compare kind of nicely. Yeah. So we don't want to. No, thank you. We're not erasing today. Right, so let's just hit go. Ooh, nice. So you see the start point is the same because I set the start point to the same for all. Yeah. So that was, I doubled it in size, right? The radius just doubled. If I go to 8, again, a bigger circle with the same starting point. If I go to 10, that would be a bit much because it will come off of the page, right? So it gets kind of crazy there. I'm going to leave that at 10, and you'll see why. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to increase this angle. And let's increase the angle now to 10. Remember, when I change the angle to 10, it's going to, I need to still make my turn, go for 360 degrees. And so if to make the 360 degrees, that this number needs to change to 36. Yeah, so it's less than it was before. So let's press play on that. First of all, it's way smaller, right? And it's about when it was like with the 5. Yeah, I think it was like the 5. Yeah, 5 and 5. Yeah, let me just do that over again. So like 5 and 5. Play. Yeah, it's the same as 10 and 10, seems, right? 10 and 10. Right? And yeah, so what else? Let's see. What else should we try? Right, I was making this smaller or bigger. I was making this bigger, right, to show you. So let's move this all the way up to 36. Yeah. Ooh, it got pretty small. But that circle doesn't look that perfect anymore because, again, I only went 10 iterations, right? 10 turns or 10 repeats. Let's make it bigger to see what it looks like. Can I go all the way up to 36? I don't know. Would it come off the page? All right. No, it kind of got me. So when they're the same, it makes about the same. Yeah, about the same size, for lack of a better term. So, wow. And you realize it's a polygon. It's no longer as perfect as it was before. Yeah. So it's it's not a circle. In fact, it's a polygon with 10 sides. So really and truly, a circle, really, these circles aren't perfect circles, right? They're just, polygons with a whole set of sides on them that you can't see the difference. So a real circle, has like an infinite number of sides. Yeah? Anyways, interesting or not interesting, I don't know. But the point is, basically, you move from the triangle that only had 3 sides, right? Let's look at it here, that only had 3 sides, to a polygon that now has basically infinite sides. But to draw it, the computer can't go on forever. We just use as small an angle as possible to make it look like a nice circle. Yeah? The smaller your angle, the nicer it's going to be. Right? Good. And to control things better, if you want, you can make the amount of steps equal to the amount of angles and reduce the amount of, reduce the amount of variable adjustments you've got to make. So that is one way you can do it as well. So you can try that. The point is, you see how it works. Oh my gosh, guys, do you remember what I had this at before? Angle, I think definitely, I always keep my angle at 5. And this was 2.5. Yeah? So that should give me my original muzzle. Yeah, it does. Good. So now we know how circles work in Scratch. I just took circle upon circle, head, muzzle, eyes. I got my cute anime eyes by just changing the color to tan, to black, set the pen size to big. The only thing is, whoa, what are all these repeats in here? To color in the eye, I had to, things got a little messy in here. To color in the eye, let's see if we can get, yeah, I like the muzzle. Let's get the head, and let's get some eyes in there. Where are you, eyes? Yeah. And then we'll add on the lashes after. Yeah, let's clear off everything. Yeah. To do the eyes, you actually had to do a circle in a circle. So that's a big circle and then another circle. And put the thickness really thick of the pen to color it in. Yeah, guys? So that's what was happening there, and that's why I got these repeats happening there. And then remember, I had to do it on the other side. So just like we did in another one, you kind of had to, you had to jump X to the side. And why am I moving Y again? Because I went in, I had to change Y to make the smaller circle. Then when you come back to get back to the big circle, you got to change back Y. Yeah, so that's what these, so 2 times 2 is 4, so it means I made 4 circles here. Yeah, so again, I'll leave the code down the bottom. You can inspect that. And then let's add in the iris now. I wonder if let's see, if I just double click here. Oh, I thought it would have, it would have done the whole thing. Let's see if we can get the iris in there. Let's see if we can get the iris in. We're not going to delete anything. I call it the iris. It's not really the iris. Right. So let's get those in there. And so I did one, jumped to the other side, adjusted XY, made it smaller. Yeah. I got my circle. I showed you how to do lashes already. Did I? Yeah, kind of. This one, if I didn't, it's just the same lines, just with, it's slanted this time. Yeah, it's just slanted. And then you slant one way, and then you have to slant negative whatever the other, right? So if this was slant of 150 or 120, then this one slant is negative, let's say 150 or 120, whatever it was. Keep it symmetric, use the same thing. So it's like, you're understanding, it's like, okay, we use circles, we just use the circle code. Turn is built in. It's pretty simple because you're building one function or one philosophy up on top of another. So it's like building blocks. And here's another building block. I use semicircles to draw the back and the leg of the cottontail. So I use semicircles. So all that means is it's the exact logic of the circle that we just went through, right? And you saw to get bigger circles, smaller circles. Now you can get a part of a circle by using the same circle code. And all I did was just added in, multiplied in a fraction that you can set here. For the back, it's 0.3. For the leg, it's the same thing, but they're different size circles. For the front, the front, it's again, the size of the circle is different. It's a much bigger circle. So all throughout, I just use 5 as my angle so I set something the same. Yeah, I set something the same, and I only messed with the size. So, frankly, I could have just put that angle. I could do away with one of these variables, to be frank, right? It's always better to work with less variables. And set the fraction as 0.11 right? So in other words, I use a very small part of this very big circle for the front. And then for the base, so let's just see how they come together. The base, I added in some lines. So again, we're going to leave these here. The freckles don't take long, and the nose, I'm just going to put them in because it just looks super weird without it. And what do we want? Do we want the back, the leg, the front, the base? This is perfect. This is exactly what we want. Careful how you touch this. It'll erase everything. So let's get this in. Right? Semicircles, 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 just coming all in. Those are all just semicircles. So it looks like, wow, you got these elegant lines added in. They're just semicircles. And these are lines that, again, you start at a certain place and put the length. Start at a certain place, put a length. And here is one semicircle, and here's another one to get a kind of, because it's a different curve. So you see how you can create whatever you want. You can create a seal. This is looking just like a baby seal right now. So you can make a seal, a hippopotamus, a donkey, whatever you want, a bird, just by adjusting the shapes, and you know what the code means, which is super important for making new things and using them. Now that we've done circles and semicircles, it's time for the difficult stuff. I think you're ready. And it's the oval. So the oval is, I like to think of it as a circle is like the equilateral triangle of ellipses. Yeah? So basically this equation here might as well be for a circle. Yeah? So what we've got, I pressed it by mistake. But so what we've got here is you've got set x. So this is good. This is actually a semicircle here, but that's okay. A semi-oval, I should say. So we've got ovals, and lower down, you just add a fraction to it, and bam, it's a semi. You just make part of it, right? So all of this looks familiar. I mean, as I was going along, I realized, just why are we adjusting this angle? Just leave it at 5. And we don't ever need to really change that. And then now here, this is because I'm using the original equation of an ellipse. The only difference between an ellipse and a circle is just like the difference between a regular triangle and an equilateral triangle, or a rectangle and a square, right? The square has all equal sides. The equilateral triangle has all equal sides, all equal angles. The circle has all, the radius is the same throughout. Yeah? So it's like, that's a good way to explain it. So there's an equation to get x. So this has a lot to do with trigonometry and triangles. Triangles. Because to get, I'm not going to go into it, but basically to get x, you use trigonometry to get, which is cos of the angle, to get what x is at a certain point on the ellipse, right? Same thing with y, use sine of that angle to get the amount of the y, or the height, at that certain point on the ellipse or the circle. With circle, size here, so it's like x is equal to cos of the turn, and we talked about turn just now, times size. I just put divided by 2 to get an ellipse that's nice and long. If this was size and size, and this wasn't divided by 2 here, then they'll be equal, and this would be the equation of a circle. It's that simple. This is the equation of a circle. The thing is, this turn, cos of turn, sine of turn, is built in already into this guy. That's why I call it turn, because we already have it built into here, but this 15 degrees turns 15 degrees with x and y by the same amount. Whereas x and y kind of differ if it's an ellipse. So there isn't a special one where you could just turn x by a certain amount, or turn such that x changes by a different amount as y. Here, x will change by the same amount of y if you use this built-in function. So instead, we have our own turn function. Well, so instead of calling it oval, I could have called it turn. But anyways, where you can specify like, here, how long you want your oval, right? Now the XY that it gives will land you in a certain place on the map, on the grid. So in order for you to move that ellipse and put it where you want, like put it down here or put it up there for the bunny ears, I had to add in side and add in up. That's all that is. And so you can shift it around to wherever you want. You can use this equation, take it, use it, do whatever you want with it, and make, bunny ears, a table, a spaceship. If you're going to make a spaceship, so bunny ears, it'll be divided by 2 with the X. With a spaceship, it'll be divided by 2 on the Y. So you switch this around. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, and what else? Yeah, that's it. So basically, I set turn to 0. Yeah, and I really need to make an entire ellipse, right? Make an entire ellipse. I need to turn this from 0 all the way to 360 degrees. So since I'm starting at 0 and ending at 360, yeah, I actually need to add 1, because 0 is a number. Add 1 for 0. So it's actually 361. I hope that makes sense. But anyways, so let's assume we are turning angle by angle, like one at a time, or turn by turn. Yeah. Then, then I would go all the way. To. I need to add up to 361 times. So I'm going to change turn by angle, right? And so, yeah, so let's assume angle is 1 in this case. Then, that's the ideal case. Then it'll be 361. But then that takes really long, so it's better to that's why we use the 5. And that's it. So then I take that oval and I use it in the different parts to make the ears. What else was the oval? I think it's just the ears and the feet. And the feet, I just added in a fraction. So let's see how those bunny ears and the feet come in. Oval, nice, oval, nice. And then I put an oval in an oval to give the effect of the bunny ears, change the saturation or the color, to give some kind of depth to the bunny ears. And then my feet, nice, right? So one in the other, change the thickness, and there's your bunny. Right? I guess the only thing I didn't show was the tail, but the tail basically was, as I said, like 3 semicircles all together. So that's a semicircle, another semicircle, another semicircle. And so when you're doing that, so let me go in the semicircle section. Circle, semicircle. I got the back, the leg, the front. Yeah. Base. And the tail, repeat 3 times, pointing, and I changed direction by 60 each time. And that's it. And I took, the fraction was like 0.6. So 60% of a circle was done each time. Looks like a carrot top. I think you can draw a carrot with that as well. So, yeah. So now you have ideas for, and you have like some starting material as well to draw your own cottontail, to draw your own hippo. I think I want to draw a hippo. To draw a dragon, with triangles going on top of his back. You come up with some cool things. I want to put the ears. Let's see. I like to start with the ears. I like to end with the tail. I like my head and stuff. Head and eyes and lashes in the same place. Yeah. I like my eyes to come. Iris, yeah, lashes, nice. Feet should definitely, Freckles should come like here. Nice. I'm just trying to set things up again so we can, before we leave, we can just see what everything looks looks like. Definitely want my ears to start because it's a bunny. Yeah, bunny ears. Bunny ears are super important. Maybe after the head, you draw the head and then yeah. I think that comes in nicely. And we start everything by erasing everything. Yeah. So this is our final design. And I hope you liked it. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you can use some of the code that you see here. I'll separate it out for you so you can just zoom in on the parts that you want to. And as I said, I would leave a link to the code so you can make this same bunny, make a bunny of your own. If you're just interested in just changing up a little bit, you can change the colors of his eyes, the color of the bunny, the saturation, play around with the colors, or just make something of your own. And if you do, send me a link so I can see it, so I can feature it, and see you next time. Thanks for joining me. Bye.